Have you ever noticed how the light in a movie just feels a certain way? You know, how one scene can feel warm and cozy, and the next feels cold and kind of scary? Well, that is absolutely not an accident. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and talk about one of the most powerful storytelling tools in all of filmmaking.
I mean, really think about it. You've got that classic romantic dinner, and it's all bathed in this soft, warm glow. Then you cut to a sci-fi movie, and the lab is just drenched in this cold, sterile, bluish light. Why? What's actually going on there to make us feel such different things?
It's not magic, even though it kind of feels like it. It's a language. And the best part is, once you learn a few of the basics, you can start to read it everywhere. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how filmmakers use the color of light to tell a story and, more importantly, to guide how you feel. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. Before we can get to the artistry, we gotta understand the basic science behind all this. And the entire system really is built on one simple concept: color temperature.
Now, I know that sounds super technical, right? Color temperature? But the idea is actually incredibly simple. It's just a way to measure the color of a light source. You know, whether it leans more orange or more blue. That's it.
And here's the best way to wrap your head around it. Forget Celsius or Fahrenheit. We're just using a different scale, called Kelvin, to measure how warm or cool the color of the light is. It's just a spectrum, like a rainbow.
And this chart shows it perfectly. See, way down on the low end of the scale, around 1900 Kelvin, you've got the super warm, orangey glow of a candle. Then, as you move up, you hit about 3200 K, which is more of a neutral, yellowish light from a typical lamp. And then way up at the high end, around 5600 K, you get the cool, bluish tint of bright daylight. So the main takeaway is this: lower Kelvin number means warmer light. Higher Kelvin number means cooler light. Simple.
Okay, so that's the theory. That's the what. But how do filmmakers actually control this on a chaotic film set? How do they get the precise color they want? Well, it turns out they have a pretty cool toolbox designed for exactly that.
It all starts with the lights themselves. Cinematographers basically have two main flavors to choose from. First, you've got tungsten lights. These are the old-school workhorses, and they naturally burn warm at that 3200 Kelvin mark. Think of your standard indoor lamp light. Then you've got HMIs. These are beasts, and they're designed to be like bottled sunlight, so they burn cool at around 5600 Kelvin. These are the base coats of paint for any scene.
Right. So here's the puzzle. What if you're shooting outside with those cool HMI lights, but you want the scene to feel super warm and romantic? Or what if you're stuck inside with warm tungsten lights, but the story needs a cold, sterile mood? You can't just change the sun, right?
Well, the answer is surprisingly simple and, frankly, kind of brilliant. You use gels. That's it. They're basically just thin sheets of colored plastic that you slap right over the front of a light to completely change its color.
And in the world of color correction, there are two gels that do almost all of the heavy lifting. You've got CTO, which stands for color temperature orange. It does exactly what it sounds like. It makes a light warmer. You'd put this on a cool daylight HMI to make it feel like that perfect golden hour sunset. And its opposite is CTB, color temperature blue. Use that to cool a light down. Slap it on a warm tungsten light, and suddenly it can feel like eerie moonlight or the cold glow from a TV screen. So we've got the science and we've got the tools. Now we get to the fun part, seeing how it all comes together to create art on screen. This is really where the technical stuff transforms into pure emotion.
Because this is the whole point, isn't it? Every one of those decisions, whether to use a tungsten or an HMI, whether to add a warm gel or a cool gel, it's not just a technical choice. It's an emotional one. They are quite literally painting with light to make you feel something.
And what's wild is how directly these colors map to our feelings. It's like a cheat sheet. Filmmakers know that warm tones, all those reds, oranges, and yellows, instantly make us think of things like comfort, love, and happy memories. And on the flip side, they know that cool tones, the blues, the greens, the sterile whites, can make us feel isolated or sad, or give us a sense of something being very high-tech and impersonal.
Okay, so let's put this all together. Because once you understand this language, I'm telling you, you will never watch movies and TV shows the same way again.
When you boil it down, this is the process every single time. A filmmaker picks a light source. They know its natural color. They use a gel to modify that color if they need to. And every step is taken with one goal: to create the exact right emotional feeling for that specific moment in the story.
So the big thing to remember is that nothing you see on screen is an accident.
That warm glow on a character's face when they're falling in love? That's a choice. That cold blue wash that makes a room feel empty and lonely? That is a powerful, deliberate choice. And it's telling you a story without a single word of dialogue.
And that's really the big takeaway here. The next time you're watching anything, I want you to try this. Just for a second, look past the actors and listen past the dialogue. Just look at the light. Is it warm? Is it cool? And more importantly, what story is that color telling you? Because now you know how to read the language.